Good evening and welcome to The Bottom Line. News about your neighborhood and its condition. News that will allow you to make informed decisions from downtown to Dover and everywhere in between. News that reaches the residents of Wilmington and the greater Newark Community County. I done screwed that one up. Okay, we'll hit it next time, right? News that's real, relevant, revealing. News that you can use. Yes, that's the bottom line. I am your host, Nicole DeSarette, and that's what happens when I take a week off. I can't remember my lines, but I did miss being with you. I was in St. Louis visiting my daughter, had a great time checking out the sights of St. Louis, got a chance to ride the arches. So way cool, 630 feet up. Had a really, really good time. Glad to be back home. And I'm glad to come back and get an extra hour of sleep. That's what I did with my extra hour. I don't know what you did, but I hope you use your extra hour well. So, where daylight savings time has ended, it's starting to get dark earlier. Again, always watch out for the children. They still want to be outside as long as possible, and they're not always thinking about cars going up and down the street. So be careful of our young people. The weather is changing, and change is not always a bad thing. So maybe what I'll do is a little segment on change. I won't do it tonight, but I'll do it in a couple of weeks and get you to thinking about changes that you can make in your life. Newsflash, 9 weeks left in 2015. So time really does fly. That's the bad news. The good news is that you're the pilot. So yeah, I need to do something so we can start to make change now. We don't need to wait until January 1st to make New Year's resolutions. We need to put the wheels of change in motion now. Next year is not guaranteed to any of us. Next month, next week, not even the next day. All we have is today. That's why this gift is called the present. Well, the Bottom Line crew is here and ready to go, and they are not going to stumble all over themselves like I just did. We have the captain of the ship, State Rep Charles Potter. We have the one and only Elder Ty Johnson. We have Miss Deneen White in the house. We have a couple of people playing hooky, but that's okay. We'll see Mr. Ed and Miss Abundance next week. So enough of me. We're going to move it over to Studio B. Take it away, gentlemen.
Oh, wow. I tell you, what an intro to Wilmington and news that you can use for Newcastle County. We won't worry about that crazy Newark thing that happened, right? That's crazy, right?
That's real crazy. See, that's what happens when you can afford to go up to the mountains.
That's right, and play hooky, right?
Yeah, we go. When I want a vacation, I go up to the hilltop. You know what I mean?
Is that right? Well, I tell you, we got some wonderful guests here today. We're joined by Dr. Saunders she has a DSU button on, and then we got Bishop Gregory Gordon here, and
these two awesome folks. Dr. Saunders is former chair of Del State University Social Work, chair of the Social Work Department. Bishop has come to talk a little bit about reentry and folks.
No double jeopardy.
No. The president released, I understand he released a bunch of folks, 6,000 folks, I don't know, from prison, so we're going to talk about that. Before we do that, we say hello to everybody, everywhere. God bless you all. I trust and I pray that you had a wonderful Halloween. Y'all know I don't celebrate trick or treat, but for the young people who went out.
Yes.
And I want to say thank you. Then I want to say congratulations.
Well, before you move on to that, check all that candy that you got during trick-or-treating. I know in Pennsylvania, they found out in the Snicker bar there was pens and things like that. So the parents, check all the candy out.
Please check the candy. Please don't let them have the bags and go for themselves. Right. And then congratulations to all my people. And the people, look, people, P-E-O-P-L-E is plural. So all my peoples with an S from Back Down Memory Lane.
Back Down Memory Lane. I want to thank everyone who supported that show. It was great. We started the show off with the stylistics. Then we turned around and had the Blue Notes. Then we had
Magic
Oh,
of the Blue.
we had a comedian.
Magic
He was
of the
all the
Blue.
way live. He was crazy. You know, and Denise's father and them were there. They had a great time.
My dad was there.
Your dad,
Yeah,
Nicole's
my son,
people, everybody.
yeah,
But
everybody.
without any further ado, let's talk to the good people we have here because, you know, time is of the essence. So.
Look, Doc,
Yes.
Doctor, you've been doing a lot of work around churches and faith-based substance abuse and that sort of thing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're now working with the National Association of Social Workers in the state of Delaware. You're the
Yeah.
executive director.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about this exciting training you got coming up for churches. It's free, right?
It's free, and thanks to a small grant
Yes.
that we received from Newcastle County Council, we are able to provide a training program on substance abuse prevention and treatment. To
That's
faith-based-
important
that's
with
very
all the
important.
shooting and with
Very-
the drugs linking to the
very-
shootings.
Very important.
Okay.
And that's going to happen at our office in the Community Service Building on November 17th.
How do folks get if
Well,
can they still come in, get in?
Yeah, they can register. They can call my office, National Association of Social Workers, 288-0931. Or we have on our website, you can go to our website, naswde.org, and you'll see the registration page and just register. It's going to be all day from 9 to 3:30. We're serving breakfast. We're serving lunch.
Oh, Lord.
Free parking.
Breakfast and lunch,
Yes,
free
yes,
parking.
indeed, yes, indeed.
People who are coming in and people who want to park, they have a problem. You know, you don't want to get ticket. Some people might
Just
have
go
tickets.
park
You don't
in
want to
the-
get booted.
Right,
If you
park-
got tickets already, you've
can
been
park
You
in
ducked.
don't want a
the-
ticket.
And
Yeah.
you don't want a ticket.
Yeah,
So,
they can park in the Community Service Building garage.
okay.
Which is at 111 West 11th Street.
Okay, on
And
11th
you'll get a
Street.
ticket and then we'll validate it.
Oh, that's
and,
wonderful.
Then people don't have to worry about getting a ticket.
And this is free for the faith community.
For the faith-based community.
And the date again?
November 17th.
November 17th. And what time does it start?
Begins at 9 and we're going until 3:30.
Let's do your number one more time so they can get to you.
302-288-0931.
This guy look like he's ready to preach.
Well, you know, that's Bishop Gregory Gordon, and you're with the Brethren Ministry Church of Faith.
Yes.
And that's down on what street?
Well, we're located on 8th and Church Street, 720 North Church Street, Kingdom Faith Worship Center.
Okay, and your whole church is watching, right?
Yes,
Throughout the world.
yes. Want to say hi to Kingdom Faith.
Okay, there you go. So tell us why you're here today and what you're up to.
We've developed a new program called No Double Jeopardy. There's many times that many felons have fallen into a problem, made a mistake, and we get judged in the court. We go through the probation, we go through the fines, we get all that taken care of, then we go get a job and we're on trial again. What we do is try to help people, one, present a good resume, two, get them through the what was my past, what is my present, and what is my future. We try to help them with presentation of their resume. If you don't have ID, then we have a partner that's able to help you get your ID paid for, also your birth certificate, no matter what state you're born in. We can get the information for you, get your credentials. And for those folks who are on food stamps and need some place to do their community service, give me a call. Also, if you have fines out there to the court system, give me a blast then too, because we can help get your fines off your back. You don't have to come up with money that you don't have because you can't get a job. We're housed at the Wilmington Library on 10th Street. They have been blessing us by hosting us. Our next session will
Now,
be...
let's talk about where
Okay.
you're hosted at the Wilmington Library.
Okay.
And that's on 10th and Market Street?
Yes.
And what floor are you on?
We're on the second floor called the Inspiration Center,
Okay,
right
your
beside the
hours of
computer.
operation are what?
10 to 12.
10 to 12.
a.m.
Is there any age limit on?
As long as you're legal to work, we'll help you.
Okay.
What days? That's every day?
Every Monday.
Oh,
Every
only
Monday,
on
I'm sorry.
Mondays.
Yes, only on Mondays.
Now, I
Is there
heard
computer access to your program? And you have a website? Did you want to get that out?
Yes. The website is mybrethrenministries.com, BRETHREN, or you can find us at Bishop G.E. Gordon on Facebook or My Brethren Ministries on Facebook.
what about, you said, give me a blast. What's your number?
302.
Because a lot of folks are not savvy. We got a digital divide going on.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. What's your number, Bishop?
302-257-0017.
Do it one more time, brother.
302-257-0017.
And I think you both got some great programs, and I think they'll help out a lot of people. So, Dr. Saunders, do you want to say something in closing, and then we'll go to you, Bishop?
Well, the other thing I want to announce is that Reverend Ty and I are working with Chief Cummings to develop a training program, the purpose of which is to help the department and the community to work together, to problem solve. And the training program revolves around a concept that's called community policing. And community policing is a philosophy that says policing and keeping people safe. It's not just about arresting people. Okay. It's about the people and the police, working together to identify problems that contribute to crime.
We had 2 shootings today. With 2 shootings last night. Right. We've got to do something. And training the police is one thing, but the community's got to be trained also.
Let me do this. I got 30 more seconds for you, Bishop Gordon, if you want to say anything else here.
I'd just like to let people know that we are looking for collaboration. We are not a one-stop shop. There are others out there who are doing similar programs. We'd like to work with you. Doctor, I'd like to give you a call after the show that we might be able to work together. If you've got a problem with drugs, not only is this a conduit through which you can maybe get off, but I have an area through which I can get you to faith-based operations, the clothes on your back, and a ticket from us. You can be on your way to sobriety.
Well, that's wonderful. This is why we had a bottom line. This is news that you can use. And if there are anybody else out there with programs that are helpful to Wilmington, the state of Delaware, please call myself or Ty or email us at thebottomline@gmail.com. We'd like to thank you guys for coming in today. We're going to go to a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Before you do that, man,
Yes,
you didn't say congratulations to Nicole, the dancer.
Oh, yeah. Well, you go ahead. Let's congratulate the
Congratulations, Nicole.
Okay,
She's
all
dancing.
right.
She was
She's doing it all.
dancing with the stars right here on 28.
Well, why weren't we there?
Well,
we're
we
not
didn't
stars
have
yet.
breast
We-
cancer.
oh, right. Well, look, we're going to a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Good evening, and thank you for staying tuned with us for another edition of The Bottom Line. And this segment, we have a very special guest joining us tonight. We have a gentleman with us by the name of Mr. Coley Harris, who is going to be speaking about a few things that are very important to our community. First, there being a special event that Mr. Harris has coming up. How are you doing, Coley?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
The bottom line, we like to get straight to the nitty-gritty and talk about what you got going on and how you're impacting the community.
Absolutely.
So I know that you have an unbelievable healing presentation that you have been doing around the city and the country.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thank you. We have my son and I and my wife, we put together a presentation called Out of the Ashes, Where a Seed Finds Life. And Out of the Ashes is a artistic healing experience, as we like to call it. And it is based upon the real life journey between my son and I. We had a 14-year separation due to incarceration. And during that process, there were a lot of challenges that took place. And upon me coming home, I realized that there was a need for us to work together to heal and develop our relationship.
Sure, because now how old was your son when you were incarcerated?
When I went to prison, my son was 2 years old, and when I came home, he was 16 years old.
Okay, and so that was a 14-year gap that existed in your relationship. And so through this presentation, you're finding some type of rebuilding process, I assume.
Yes. It's been a slow process of us going about developing our relationship.
Okay.
Again, he was a 2-year-old child when I went to prison, 16 years old when I came home. So I had to go about, well, we both had to go about just getting to know one another, to familiarizing ourselves with one another, likes and dislikes, and just taking the slow steps process of growing together.
So it was just that general journey that you guys were on that helped you kind of create and develop Out of the Ashes, or how did that come about?
Yeah, it was interesting. My wife and I, probably about 5 years prior to, we had come up with an idea. We weren't married at the time. We came up with an idea to do a father and son banquet.
Okay.
That didn't come to fruition, so years later, my son and I, we kind of talk about business and entrepreneurial things and enterprise, and we walk on Sundays. So we walk and talk and just kind of figure out things and just really bond and connect. And one of those visits, one of those walks, we were talking, and it just came across that, our relationship, how we had grown and healed and began to just develop and our relationship blossom. We thought it was remarkable. I have a lot of friends, a lot of associates who've been incarcerated, and they don't have the same relationship with their children as my son and I did. So we figured that it would be something that we could share with others in hopes of just bearing our scars and hoping that others can heal from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, just knowing the statistics that the America spends $80 billion keeping people locked up.
Yes.
And so this story is just way too common,
Yes.
unfortunately. But through your artistic healing presentation, you're reaching out to families and you're giving them a starting point to heal.
Absolutely.
And so tell us, I know I've witnessed your presentation and it's powerful.
Thank you.
It's absolutely powerful, and I've seen the children coming from different schools and organizations and being able to witness a successful story.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think that's awesome, and you guys have a presentation coming up, right?
We do. We have a presentation coming up actually on November the 20th at Faith Harvest Church on 2505 Lancaster Avenue at 7 p.m. We also have, we've added an additional piece to it. We have a workshop.
Yeah, I heard this was going to be a pretty special one.
Yeah, we've added a workshop. So on the Saturday, the following Saturday at 10 a.m., we'll have a workshop as well in conjunction with it. So Friday night presentation, Saturday morning a workshop.
Okay, so the workshop presentation is going to be more hands-on.
Absolutely.
And so who should come?
Fathers should come, sons. We're actually going to break out. We've kind of made a decision to break out. So we're going to come together as one, as a restorative group, but we're going to also break out and have the sons in a circle facilitated by my son, and the fathers in a circle facilitated by myself. And we're also have a third component as well, because my wife is going to be doing my wife and the First Lady of the Church is going to be doing a restorative circle with women as well. Because women play, the mothers play a very key role in helping to develop and heal those relationships. So.
Absolutely, and so that workshop is going to be very powerful. So the presentation is on Friday night, just to recap for everyone, and then the workshop is going to be happening on Saturday.
Yes, it is.
How do they get in touch with you guys?
They can get in touch with us. We have our Eventbrite up, Artistic Healing at eventbrite.com. We have our Facebook page up as well. And
how do you find us on Facebook?
Out of the Ashes.
Okay.
Out of the Ashes on Facebook, and also my wife, 302-507-4623.
Okay, and who are they asking for?
They are asking for Patty.
Okay, awesome. So Out of the Ashes we have coming up on November 20th.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing presentation. I've witnessed it for myself. I absolutely encourage you to get in touch with these folks. The journey that they put you on, their own personal journey, a very transparent presentation that you definitely have to come and see, because I'm sure that families all around can relate. So awesome, Coley. I want to thank you so much for coming and sitting with us. And now we're going to go ahead to a break.
Welcome back to The Bottom Line. I must tell you that I'm in luck this evening because my co-workers here have extra forgiveness coupons. So I get an opportunity to redeem myself. The Bottom Line reaches residents from Wilmington to the greater Newcastle County community. Yay, I did it right. Although we were saying that people in Newark can get the show too. So I know, I got it together, And so I also want to thank my co-hosts for their accolades about Friday night. We did a Dancing with the Survivors here, a live studio audience right here at Channel 28. I had a wonderful time doing the foxtrot and the jitterbug. And it was tight, y'all. It was tight. I had a whole bunch of fun. And then when that ended Friday night, Saturday morning, I got up at 4 o'clock, headed down to Philadelphia to participate in the American Association for Cancer Research's Rock and Roll Half Marathon. So that was a lot of fun. So you can't see that I'm still a little achy, but that's okay. But it was just such a wonderful event, and I was able to open it up with the Star Spangled Banner, with the national anthem. Yeah, I sang it. I can't remember what it's called. The national anthem. So 18,000 people, we got it done, 13.1 miles. So I've had a busy weekend, so again, I really needed that extra hour of sleep. So enough of me, I'm using up some time. I have a very special guest in the studio by the name of Dion Lamont. I refer to him as just simply Maestro. It just makes it easier. He is just an unbelievably gifted and talented musician, and who just allows God to use him to the fullest. So welcome to Channel 28.
It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm grateful that you asked me to be part of this awesome production. So
wonderful.
it's a blessing.
So am I going to tell them what you said to me?
It's your show, so you know, it's live, so it's okay.
Okay, I'll keep it.
No, it's all right. Most people need to know that. I mean, a lot of
So
people
we're
think.
sitting here, and Dion says to me, I didn't know so many people were going to be in the studio. And I said, Dion, what's the problem? You conduct, you can perform in front of thousands of people. He said, yeah, but my back is toward the audience. And I'm like, okay, so.
And that's true. That's true.
But you'll be fine, you'll be fine.
Thanks.
So I'd like you to introduce yourself to the viewing audience, and then we'll talk about some exciting events that are happening in Wilmington in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, my name's Dion. I'm a graduate of the University of Delaware, Bachelor of Arts in Music. I've been teaching, and now I work at two churches, Calvary Church and Resurrection Center, right on 3301 North Market Street. And we've got some exciting things coming up, as you know, that you're a part of in a few weeks. So we're looking forward to it. So, but I love what I do. I love music. It exudes out of my pores, and I'm just blessed to do it with people such as yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful. So we just ran a commercial that on Saturday, November 14th, the Resurrection Center will be sponsoring an evening of thanks.
Absolutely.
Share a little bit about that, please.
Well, at my church in Dover, we have a Christmas cantata. It's been, for the past 10 years, we've been putting it on. It's a really great event, and we feature our choir, our praise team, and I usually hire some musicians to come to make a makeshift kind of orchestra. And we've been putting it on, and Kayla, our minister of music, my boss, my big sis, she said, well, why don't you bring it up to the Resurrection Center? And I didn't want to do it at the same time, two Christmas cantatas, that would have been too much. So I said, well, why don't we do it for, for a Thanksgiving type theme? And so we got the clearance from our Bishop Townsend and the blessing, of course, from Minister Kayla. And here we are. So we're putting a Thanksgiving cantata on for this city of Wilmington. And what's so wonderful about this program is not only it's an evening of giving thanks, but we're going to hopefully be able to do it also in a tangible way. I'm sure you'll talk more about that, but the admission is free. We will have a free will offering, but we're asking everyone that comes to bring a canned good. And that's going to be something that we'll be able to have a tangible offering to people, in our community, in this Wilmington community. I was reading about a month ago in the paper on the front news that the food banks in this area, I believe, are kind of dwindling, or things are happening there.
Yeah.
And so we need to be those hands and feet of Jesus, so to speak, and to be a blessing to our community right here in Wilmington. I don't even live here, but in the Wilmington area, to be a blessing to the people that might not have the food and things like that for the Thanksgiving or the holiday season. So that's what's going to be great about it, is that we'll be able to be a blessing to someone else, not just with singing, but even in a tangible way.
Right. So there will be singing, there will be a live orchestra, there will be praise dancing, our storytellers will be doing their thing, as well as our mime ministry.
Absolutely.
So there will be something for every member of the family. So please come out on Saturday, November 14th. The concert starts at 6 o'clock. Doors will open at 5 at the Resurrection Center, 3301 North Market Street in Wilmington. Again, the admission is free. All you have to do is bring a canned good and be a blessing to someone else. Now, we need to wrap up this segment right here, but I wanted to share something quickly about Dion that he didn't say about himself. Dion is a board member of the Delaware Symphony Orchestra. Get a good look at this guy. He is the youngest board member, and he is the only board member of color. So we've got double duty going on right here. And we want you to stay tuned. We're getting ready to take a break and go to another segment. But before we leave the show today, we're going to give you a live taste of what you'll hear during the evening of Thanksgiving on Saturday, November 14th.
Welcome back to the bottom line. Now we're going to have our little round town. I'm sounding like Nicole. See, that's what I get, right?
It is round town.
It is round town, around the table.
Round town, round the table.
In all seriousness, I am just so happy to have our young people back solo. And see, you don't know what that stands for.
No,
SOLOE, is
Yes,
that right?
it is.
Saving Our Lives or Else.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes,
That
sir.
is
Now,
correct.
they've been on TV for about 6-7 months on Sundays. They're going to be showing up now with us on Mondays and some on Fridays. You just saw a segment of some of their great work. Tell us about that work. First, let me introduce
Yes.
Shaheem,
Shaquem.
and Brittany. And
Well, what I saw was something that spoke to my heart, and it
Right.
was, I know we talked about racism and
Correct.
and the
Diversity.
when we talked about certain systems that are in place, and it's amazing still in the year 2015
Yes.
that folks still have. I know we suffer from post-traumatic slavery syndrome.
Yes.
I know we got a lot of stuff going, but there's a lot of other things that go on that people are totally unaware of. And I was looking just a minute ago, and I said, "Are you kidding me? This is going on now?"
Yes.
And where was that? Tell people where
It was at University of Delaware. And it's funny that you say that, but it's not shocking. Because if you think about it,
Tell them what went on.
racism,
Tell them what went on, though.
okay. So what happened was that there was strings hanging from trees that resembled nooses at the University of Delaware. The
Strings hanging from
Rope.
trees, rope,
not strings, rope.
Okay.
that resembled
Nooses.
nooses.
Yes,
In 2015,
in 2015.
University of Delaware.
Yes.
Right.
But the thing is, you have to realize racism is not a long, far gone thing. It literally is still prevalent today.
Still a cancer.
It's still prevalent today. It's not as easily noticed as it was back in the 60s. But then again, you got to think the 60s was only 50 years ago.
Not long ago. Brittany, just jump in here. Give us your thoughts.
What happened that day, it was just very profound to me because, I mean, the strings of rope, the fact of the matter is that something was in these trees that started something, that sparked something in the students at UD.
Okay.
So whether it was, I mean, I don't know if you read the article about it, the police tried to say that it was left over from some lanterns that were from
Right.
an event prior to that day.
Right.
But whether that was the
What
case
kind
or
of
not.
event? How do you justify that kind of stuff?
Well, they're saying that there was a lantern hanging in that tree and that the strings or the rope were just
And the
some
rope turned
leftover.
into a noose?
Well, no, I mean, I saw it, whether it
Absolutely.
was a noose or not. You
But
know,
it was
it's a matter of
symbolic or
perception.
something.
Right, it was just
okay.
a matter of perception
Okay.
whether it was, but where it really touched me is that people who thought that it was a noose, they were scared, and it brought up memories that they had of them walking around the campus and experiencing some
Okay,
racism,
okay.
things that I didn't even know was going on because
Like what? Did some of these folks talk about some of the things
Whew.
they did. The
like
students,
what?
Did they?
What did the students say?
Yeah.
And obviously these are students of color, and they're saying,
Right.
and what are they saying?
Well, the students of color, I remember one particular young lady, she said that her freshman year, she was running or just walking by the campus, and some guys came by in the truck, were just saying, "You're so black, you're so effing black,"
Tar
and
baby.
Wow.
tar baby and everything. And actually, a lot of students came up with their own individual
Yes.
stories, and it just shocked me to know that because I know a few people who go to UD, and I wasn't aware that that was going on.
And what's crazy to me is the fact that you have students, not just African American students, but you have white students also that are being targeted because
Oh,
they're
wow.
being called by their peers nigger lovers
Oh,
if they
wow.
like African American people. And it's
Just because they associate.
by association, guilty
With
by
fellow
association.
students, with fellow
Yes.
students. I even liked it. It was just powerful to me because of the dynamic of it. Even some a white student or two came up there and talked about white privilege, how they acknowledge that it does exist, you know, amongst themselves and how it's affecting their black counterparts at school.
Are these incidents? Do you all report these incidents, or what is?
I'm just shocked. You see, I'm just sitting here
What is
listening.
the faculty? I mean, what are they saying?
Well, let me say this, is that a diversity study has been ordered by the Black Caucus, by the House Reps and the Senate, and that there's supposed to be a study done on diversity and other things to make university more inclusive of all people. Let me say that.
One of the major things that
But
the students,
the study's not going to help them now.
Well,
The people who live there now. You know what I'm saying?
but the interaction
What
will
would
do
you
that.
do if somebody say?
Let me hear what he's going to say. He wants to
but
say
one of
something.
the one of the major things that was stated at the rally was the fact that University of Delaware claims to be such a diverse school. However, having 3 people being of minority descent in a class full of 45 people, that's not diverse.
Right.
That's actually just saying, hey, look, you were the luck of the draw. We needed you 3, so therefore you get accepted. But I'm just gonna let you know, we only gonna accept a certain amount. Like that just shows that when we was in the rally, it was everybody mixed. Everybody was there for a purpose, for a reason, and it was a mixed crowd. Now you can see even the segregation at the rally because more of the African American and minority students stood towards the front, while the Caucasian students and parents and everything stood towards the back, just to say, hey, I'm here. Not really to be in so much engaging, but just to see what's going on.
But you know what's amazing here is that these 2 young people in a group of solo, you know, they're a part of the bottom line. And you can see how intense, and you saw the video information that was put up. Now, Solo is going to be joining us. Now, they're here tonight. They're going to do the segment next week of the bottom line. You're going to come on Friday with Reverend Ty from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Brittany, what do you have to say? You know, we're going to close this segment out. But what do you have to say? So get ready, young people, because we got young people on this show. So it's not a lot of old fogies like Ty and a young guy like me, but we got some younger people here. So what would you're going to be bringing some newness to this show.
Yes, we're going to be bringing the young opinion of just what's going on in the world, our aspect, our vantage point of what's going on here in Wilmington, especially with the candidacy coming up.
Okay.
Just bring an opinion of what's going on and just have an open forum to talk
So
about.
you're going to be taking a look at who's running for different offices and give your opinions, right?
Yes, that's absolutely important. I was at work today, and I was ashamed to say that not everyone at my job exactly knew what all the candidates were talking about in order to know who they wanted to vote for, if they were even going to vote.
Can we say this before you leave, though?
Yes.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For coming forth, speaking honest, speaking with integrity.
Thank you.
And I say right here, right now, if anybody ever comes to you with any of that kind of crap, it has no place in this great state called Delaware. Call me or call a state rep right then, and let's deal with that right then.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do now, we're going to go to a short break, and we'll be right back. And this break is going to be really short, and we're going to get a little taste of some music. Even Nicole's over there singing, so you know.
Yes,
it's good. So
I
let's
heard.
go to a short break and see what we got. So get.
Wow, absolutely amazing, amazing segment tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it. We brought you everything from what's happening as far as reentry and dealing with our convicted felons and the outreach that's happening in our community, to what's happening at local universities and the challenges that our students are facing with racism. You know, I strongly believe that perception is not reality. Reality is reality. And the reality is that we definitely need to pay special attention to the concerns that are happening in our community. So to end this program, we're going to end it on a high note. We're going to have a nice, beautiful selection from our live choir that we have in the studio tonight that's going to provide a little healing for the soul, because Lord knows we need it.
So before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that my church is in the house, the Resurrection Center. We're going to do some quick introductions, and then we're going to sing a little bit.
Hi, I'm Miko Surratt. Hello, I'm Tiana Beckett.
You know me, Dion.
I'm Tyra Beckett.
And I'm me. Woo-hoo. Okay. Every day is a day of Thanksgiving. God's been so good to me. Every day He's blessing me. Every day is a day of Thanksgiving. Take some time to glorify the Lord today. I just want to praise you forever and ever and ever for all you've done for me. Blessings and honor and glory, they all belong to you. Thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. I just want to praise you forever and ever and ever for all you've done for me. Blessings and honor and glory, they all belong to you. Thank you, Jesus, for blessing me. We look forward to seeing you November 14th.
6 o'clock.